Hello, my name is Nolan Ramsey, and I'll be presenting on Mark Twain today. Samuel Langhorne Clemens was born to Jane Lambton and John Marshall on November 30th, 1835. Twain found his love for writing for his brother's newspaper. He received his pseudonym, Mark Twain, when he was a river pilot in St. Louis. It means that it's safe to navigate. The Civil War eventually made him change occupations due to a lack of river trade. He married Olivia Langdon in 1870. They had 4 children together. The only one that survived past her 20s, her name was Sierra, and she reached the age of 88. Her daughter had no children, so there are no direct descendants of Twain. Samuel Clemens died on April 21st, 1910, but his legacy continues to live on through his works. These are a list of Twain's works. I'll run through them real quick. Advice for Little Girls, The Celebrated Jumping Frog of Calaveras County, that was a huge one. General Washington's Negro Body Servant, My Late Senatorial Secretaryship, The Innocents Abroad, Miranda, Mark Twain's autobiography and first romance, Roughing It, that was another huge one. The Gilded Age, Sketches New and Old Times on the Mississippi, Adventures of Tom Sawyer, A True Story in the Recent Carnivals of Time, Punch Brothers Punch and Other Sketches, A Tramp Abroad, 1601 conversion as it was by the social fireside in the time of Tudors, The Prince and the Pauper, Life on the Mississippi, that one was also encouraged by his love for the river, Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, same there, Connecticut Yankees in King Arthur's Court, The American Claimant, Mary Tales, The $1 Million Banknote and Other New Stories, Tom Sawyer Abroad, which is a continuation of Adventures of Tom Sawyer, Pudd'nhead Wilson, which we did assignments on in class, Tom Sawyer Detective, Personal Recollections of Joan of Arc, How to Tell a Story and Other Essays Following the Equator, The Maine That Corrupted Hatherberg, Ammon Burke on Croker and Tammany, A Double-Barreled Detective Story, A Dog's Tale, King Leopold's Soliloquy, The War Prayer, The $30,000 Request and Other Stories, What is Man? Christian Science, A Horse Tale, Is Shakespeare Dead? And Captain Stormfield's Visit to Heaven. A majority of his writings, all of them, were either fiction, non-fiction, satire, essays, or stories. Roughing It was a book that he wrote and published, and it was published in 1872. It was described as a comedic Wild West novel. This was actually the book that made Twain start taking writing more seriously instead of just doing it for fun. It's a personal account of him traveling with his brother Orion from Hannibal to Nevada. His brother convinced him to do so because he was hired as the secretary to the governor of Nevada. They use about every form of transportation possible on their journey, including boat and stagecoach. He talks with meeting stagecoach drivers, Mormons, gunslingers, and Pony Express riders. A lot of Twain's fans would describe this piece as classic Twain because of his use of humor. The Gilded Age, it was a piece published in 1873. This novel is one of political satire. It's set to humorously make fun of those trying to make a quick buck and they think they're going to get rich in a week. This was a time period when the economy grew overwhelmingly, which created an excess in wealth. It's very ironic because throughout Twain's life he made very, very poor investments. This book was set to intelligently show how heavily an influence money has on America and American politics. A few characters from this piece would be Colonel Boreas Sellers, Squire Hawkins, George Washington, and Laura. These were the 2 books that were used and that are continue to be used in schools today, and those 2 books would be considered the river novels. They would be The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, which was written in 1876, and The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, which was in 1884. They seem to carry his legacy the most. Like I said, they're used in educational systems today. Again, you can see his love for the river through this novel, and as well as Life on the Mississippi, as referred to earlier. In this novel, he evolves into a writer with a true talent for dialogue. These novels have made him known as one of the best storytellers in history. It embodies the feeling of a youngling in American society, including lessons in using resources, making decisions, and making the most of what you have. Famous characters from this novel would be Huckleberry Finn, Jim, Tom Sawyer, and Pat Finn. Twain's contribution to literature as a whole, it's really hard to narrow down, but the River novels are a huge part of what he's contributed to our educational system. Famous writer Ernest Hemingway once said, "All modern American literature comes from one book by Mark Twain called Huckleberry Finn." So that goes to show what a major contribution he's made to society and education as a whole. His sense of humor continues to be funny because he jokes about the core values of human nature. He was not known for his more refined writings, but he was known for being a humorist. Although those more refined writings would be considered more professional and better writing, it's not what he was known for. Twain, along with Whitman, are known to be the two that freed up language in America instead of asking the British for advice. He contributed to the civil rights era as well because he was well against slavery, as he showed in many of his novels. He was actually known to pay the college expenses of a few black students. This is my works cited page. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoy.